Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant and welcome back to another video where we are continuing to try to learn how to become a back-end software engineer. So that's the goal of this project, is to learn as much skills as we can which are important for back-end engineering. The purpose of this project is not to be useful, it's not to be super cool, it's none of that. The the only purpose is to learn concepts and give us an opportunity to learn and have exposure to those super important concepts in back end software engineering. So that way we can learn, that way we can practice, that way we can understand what's going on. So that's the purpose of this project. And so today we've already implemented the part where we have the server, which is running Node.js, and Express is the root handler to be able to handle those requests when a web page sends a request to us. So we already have that. Now what we're trying to do is, okay, well, what else is important in backend software engineering? It's talking to databases, right? Being able to create a database, talk to a database, get data from it, all of those CRUD operations, right? Create, read, update, delete. We have to be able to do that. So let's go. And in the last video, I was setting up some of the database, but we were running into a problem. So now in this video, we're going to start trying to troubleshoot that and see what's going on. All right, so let me minimize myself and let's kind of refresh ourselves of what we're doing. Now, I remember there was two things that we needed to do when we were doing our database. The first one was we needed to have it listen. We needed to start the database. So it was something like brew service start MongoDB community. So let's do that. Start. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, successfully started. So now the database on my local computer is listening. Now what we need to do is run my server. So node mon and then server.js. Software from MongoDB added items. Okay, that's fine. We knew that was going to happen. So now I'm going to run my server, which is here. Okay. So let's do that. All right. MongoDB connected. So things are looking okay. Now we're going to come here to our place here. So if we remember, when I type something like my name, so Timothy Lee Grant, all right, so I type something, I'm going to hit that submit your info here, and we didn't get the alert. So somewhere along this pipeline, there is a error which is occurring. Okay, so let's press that button. Okay, and we didn't get an alert, which, if you remember, hold on. All right, if you remember, we sent the information out to our database, our server.js, and our server.js responds to it, and it's a post request, which means that we're sending data. The web page is sending us data, right? We capture that, we put it in our database, and then we send a response back and say, hey, it was successfully added. Let's look at what we actually have here. So we either say data saved or error saving data. So one of those two, and it should come up with an alert either way. So now the question is, okay, what is actually happening? Like, why is it doing that? What if I do like result status, and then what? I know that the status is talking about if a request was successful or if it failed. I think this defaults to successful. So I don't think that's going to be the problem. And I wrote a whole bunch of like debugging print statements here. So we can see when I did that, okay, so it's running the middleware function. Great. Submit 1, submit 2. Okay, so submit 1, submit 2, and then we come here, and I know that there's this await, which means it's like asynchronous, something about asynchronous. I don't know much about what JavaScript async and await and all of those. I don't know how to deal with that. I know it's extremely important for JavaScript, and we are going to 100%, we are 100% going to be learning that in the future. That's something that we absolutely will be forcing to integrate into our project. Maybe we learn it today when we're trying to troubleshoot. Maybe, yeah. So we'll put a pin in that, right? Maybe we're going to be troubleshooting this. Who knows? All right. So then we come here and I see submit 3. Okay, so submit 3, and we should have some kind of thing like data saved, but we don't. Or data saved, this should really be sent back to us, right? Like, is there a way? I know I can do like inspect, right? Should we do, okay. So let's go here. Let's see if ChatGPT can give us some useful ideas. If it can't, we will continue to troubleshoot. But I am not getting an alert on my web page stating data saved, right? Data saved. Okay, so while that's doing that, okay. Okay, never mind. It looks like your server-side code is running properly and logging all the expected statements. Yep. But your web page isn't showing an alert. Here are a few things to check. Verify the client-side handling. Are you making the request from your front end properly? A fetch request might look like this. So I'm going to, here's my fetch, okay. Like this. Okay. Check for errors in the browser. Okay, so here's how we can check for something. Confirm the server is sending the correct response. Your here should send the message back to the front end. You can manually test it in Postman. Okay, so Postman. I've heard of Postman. We might need to actually send data in Postman. I need like a Postman. Okay. Do I need to sign in? I need to sign in. No. Okay. We'll figure that one out when we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. Middleware interference. You mentioned middleware logs appears in between your expected logs. If middleware modifies or blocks responses, it could be interfering. Check middleware functions. Okay. It looks okay. So this is my fetch request, but there might be a few things preventing an alert from showing up here to check. Okay, so confirm the endpoint matches. Your server listens for a request here, but your fetch is hitting here. if the correct endpoint is just here, update your fetch call. No, I think that's fine. No, it is fine because in my server, I do this thing here where I have users, which goes to this user routes, and user routes contains this submit Mongo. So that's fine. Our URL is hitting, so we're good. Okay. Make sure the fetch call is executed correctly before fetch to confirm. Okay. Should we do that curl? So content type here, name John Doe, localhost. Okay, so let's put this in what, like a terminal? Okay. Was it 5,000? Now we need to look to try to figure out, yeah, we put it port 5,000, localhost, and we want the URL to be that users, right? So users, I think it was plural. I think I made it plural. Users, yep. Okay, so let's press enter and see what happens. Data saved. Well, that is strange. That's very interesting, right? Like, okay, what? Okay. So, by the way, if you guys are wondering, like, why am I just like putting the errors in here? So, first, I'm trying to get a working copy. I want to get a golden copy, figure out what is the correct thing or correct way of doing things, and then it's time for investigation. Then it's time to figure out, okay, why, go through every line of code, figure out what's happening. What does this line do? What does that line do? How is it working? And try to copy from that. Or not copy from that, but learn from that and then build on top of it. So, okay. All right. Looks like your backend is working correctly. You're getting data saved when using curl. That means the issue is likely on the front end. Here's what to do to check. Okay, cool. So check the fetch URL. You tested curl here, but your fetch request is... That's fine. It's to the right thing. Okay, inspect the browser console. Open the developer console, Command Option J, and check Network tab. Okay? Command Option J. So let's do that. Command Option J. Okay, that didn't do anything. On Mac. Okay. Verify the request handling in fetch. Your fetch request logs. Server said following the here. Do you see the log in console? If not, add a debug statement. I don't seem to be able to open the, what did it call it? Browser console. And this is another thing, like, I'm really happy about this project because it's teaching me so many important concepts, because I remember like looking in, I remember opening up the inspect tab and just a really long time ago, right? And I had no idea what was going on. And I went through my engineering career. I, as you guys know, my background is in electrical engineering, and we did the low level like C programming, right? Embedded systems, assembly, stuff like that. A computer, like the pipelining in a computer chip, like how do you set up the computer architecture? But I never learned the web development or HTML, how to, what are all of these things? And so I have these concepts that I kind of know about, but I have no idea what they are, or it's like a mystery to me. And so one of the things that I really want to do in this project is be able to understand all of those, at least know what they are, right? So here we go. Like this is one of those things that know that I need to know it, and I'm really glad that I'm able to finally get this exposure to understand how to go onto a browser, inspect things, figure out what are these tabs and what am I seeing, and how does a front end developer actually do their job? Obviously, I'm targeting the back end. I want to be a back end developer, but to be able to be a good back end developer, you need to also at least understand what the front end is doing. So, okay, Safari, which is what we're on, right? Okay, so this right here was for Chrome, which we aren't doing Chrome, we're doing Safari. So, um, go to Safari Preference Advanced, show developer menu in menu bar, then press Command Option C. Okay, let's just try doing Command Option C. Okay, well, it didn't work. I was trying to be lazy a little bit there. Okay, Safari Preferences Advanced. Okay, so Preference. Options. Is it in like settings or something? I hope not. I don't want to be opening up my settings on a video. That's why I don't want to sign into Postman, is because I'm doing a video right now, so I don't necessarily want to do that. Um, so that's why I'm like, come on. I hope that that's. Hmm. And I don't have Firefox installed, do I? No. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Um, all right. Let's okay, I don't really have any. Where is this? Open Safari on my Mac, click Safari in the top menu next to the Apple logo. Oh, here. Okay. And then settings. Ah, okay. All right. Let's see. And then then click advanced. Okay. Advanced here. And then at the bottom, show features for web developer. Ah. Okay. Okay, let's come back here. Control Option C. All right, we got it. Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So now, let me Timothy Lee Grant submit. What's this network here? Okay. So I see that. Network elements. Okay. Oh wow, it has my full thing including the comments. So this is the EJS or the HTML that I sent to it. Okay. All right. Okay. I was able to get the developer console. Now, how would you suggest I go about debugging my project? Okay. All right, great. Now that you have access to the developer console, you can systematically debug your project. Number one, check for errors in the console. Look for any red error messages. These indicate issues with your JavaScript code. If you see errors related to fetch, okay, if the error mentions CORS, cross origin, resource sharing, your server might need additional handlers to allow requests, okay? Go to network tab, okay, we did that. And then filter by fetch XHR to see requests made by your front end, okay? Come here. Filter. No filter. I saw something flash. You guys saw that too, right? You guys saw that too. There was a flash. There's something there. Okay. When I try to do step 2, I see a flash of something, but it is just a quick flash. I don't know what it is. Okay. Sounds like your network request is happening, but the response is flashing by too quickly to inspect. Preserve. Okay, so go to network, check on the box, preserve log. This keeps network requests from disappearing when the page reloads. Okay. Come here, go to network tab, check box that says preserve log. Disable cache here. Let me... Preserve log. Okay. Okay. Let's try it again. Okay. Aha! Okay. Timing. Okay. If the request is disappearing too fast. Okay. I was able to, what was it? Preserve. Where'd it go? Preserve network logs, and now I see the request. It is red and has a message of an error occurred trying to load the resource. An error occurred while trying to load the Okay. An error occurred trying to load the resource. Okay, so now a red request usually means that there's an issue with the server responding correctly. Let's narrow it down. Click on the failed request. Okay, look at the status code. Okay, status code. So that's what I sent back, right? Okay. I'm not seeing a status code. Console. No, we're supposed to be in network. Okay. Timing, security. Fetch, submit data on click. I'm not necessarily seeing a status code. Cookies, sizes, timing, security. Okay. I am not seeing any status code in the network tab. Where should I look? So, by the way, while we're like debugging this, like, yes, we're trying to fix this problem, but we're also getting exposure to so many different concepts. And, like, okay, now I know that I can check the status code of what the server is sending back. I know about this network tab. I know, like, there's a lot of concepts and areas that we wouldn't have known to search for if we didn't come across this problem, right? Like, Okay, no worries here how to find the status code. So click the failed request. Yep. Open network tab in the developer console. Okay, look for here. It should be red. Click on that request and expand its detail. Check the headers tab. Okay. Bam, bam. Headers tab. Okay. Oh, it's probably the status and it's just blank. Uh, okay. It might say 200. If the status code is missing, the request might have been blocked before reaching the server. Look at the console tab for extra error messages relating to the request. Okay, so let's copy this because it is blank here. And then it said to go to the console. Preserve log, maybe? Okay. So it looks like your request isn't actually reaching the server. It has 0 bytes sent and received. There's no status code. This usually means the server isn't running. But it is running. The request is blocked before sending. Open console and do this again. Like we know that this is going to work. There we go. Make your fetch request. Make sure your fetch request is using the correct URL. I mean, we know it's doing that because it says it there. If your browser blocks the request, you might need to allow it. Try adding this to your Express setup. Okay. Well, it didn't like that. I think we have to do some kind of like import. I'm not. Hold on. Let's do that. Okay. All right. Look at console for extra error messages related to the request. So what can go on here? Ooh. Anonymous function? Okay, what? Where am I? Here. Okay. Okay. have no idea. I let's just try this. I don't know. It doesn't like the line. Do I need to use a different method to import? I don't know. npm list cores. Okay, let's I guess we close out of this, then paste that list cores. Empty, okay. npm install cores. Okay, so let's install cores. All right. Restart my server. Okay. And then do that. Okay, so nodemon. Okay. Gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And we're gonna do this. Okay. Still doesn't like it. Which means require won't work. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been saying. You need to import. Yep. Yes, I know. So replace that with this. Okay, here. So import cores from cores. Okay. So now, oops, we can come here and do this, and then do that. Okay. Come on, please work. I preserve log, yes. This anonymous function, like, it says I am hitting this dot catch. Okay, open my browser console. Look for the extract error message. Would it be the whatever load failed? I'm just gonna try something. What happens if I actually explicitly do status 200 like this dot send? Okay, like, I don't know why there's a question mark there. I'm kind of at a loss right now. Hmm. I don't know. I Why would this be doing this? So, as I said, like, what I was hoping to do is solve the problem first, get it to work, and then be able to go into the code here and investigate every single line. Like, what is this await? What is that doing? What how is all of this being put together? But right now I can't even get a working golden copy. I also need to figure out, like, okay, well, it says data saved, but is it? Like, is it actually saved? Is the data persistent? How do I grab the data? Right? Like, if we put it in the database, how do we get it back? Right? Like, there's a lot of questions that I have right now. So we're able to do this curl, which this is essentially a way of doing a post request, and it's working. Do I need a do I need to have this? But it's hitting it can't be because it's hitting this endpoint already. I know that it's hitting this endpoint. So it's not that it's just not hitting, right? It's coming back. But where is it coming back to? Is it when I do this send, where does it actually send to? I'm guessing it just sends it to users submit Mongo, right? Which is where I'm at. Users. Wait, hold on. In the statement, where does this actually send to? I wish this was coffee right here, but it's almost 11 o'clock at night, so I'm not going to be sipping on any coffee. While I was at work today, it was all troubleshooting, and I made some good progress at work. I was able to fix a lot of problems. And then I come home, and then I was really hoping that this was, going to be able to kind of move along quickly, but then it was just like bam, nope. But at least at work, I was able to troubleshoot a lot of those problems. As I mentioned, like it's all like firmware problems, it's all hardware and embedded system stuff. So it's completely different than like software engineering. Um, the more I do embedded systems, the more I realized embedded systems and software engineering are completely separate. They're very different. Very different. Um, okay, so great question. The um, response status send statement sends the response back to the client that made the request. Here's what happens step by step. Front end makes a request. Okay, so your fetch calls a post request to users submit Mongo. Yep. Backend processes the request. Your express route, okay, hits that. The post submit Mongo, which is what we have here. Post submit Mongo. Yeah, that's right. If everything goes well, it saves the data and sends that as a status code. In your here block, the front end captures data saved. The message. Okay. But which URL endpoint? Which URL endpoint? In your case, the front end is making a post request here, so that's the endpoint the response is returned to. What? Is it gonna allow me to do that? I guess I am a little bit confused because the web page which I am filling in the information on is at the URL MongoDB_test, period. So wouldn't this mean that the response should be sent back to this same endpoint? Question mark. The post request is sent to the submit Mongo endpoint, comma, but that is only an endpoint that I created on my server, which handles post requests, period. Okay. So let's break it down to clarify. Right. So your web page is running here, which means that the web page you're interacting with the UI. Your front-end JavaScript fetches and sends a post request here. Your back-end Server Express goes here, processes the data, and sends it here. The response from the backend does not get sent to here. Instead, it receives that it originally sent there. Okay, where does the response go? Your fetch calls the front end. I'm starting to get a headache. Your fetch call in the front end is listening for the response. Once the server sends data save, the front end receives it in this response. That's where you log this, but it's not logging it. Why doesn't the... Okay, so what this is telling me is that the fetch will essentially be listening in on the endpoint on the URL that it sent a request out to, and when I get a response back, bam, that's when it gets piped over to the .then clause. Why doesn't the web page URL change? Okay, I think we... Man, this is... So here, it's a post request. I put it in there, and then I do this, and then... I make it into text. Console.log. Hello? Okay. Alright. Console. Did I get any hello? Nothing. All. Initiator here. I I have no idea. I also can't really ask anyone because no one knows this. I mean, no one in my life knows this. The only person that would know this is Susie, but she just started her new job, so obviously I'm not going to be like, "Hey, can you debug my pet project that I'm trying to do to experiment to learn new things?" Obviously, I'm not going to do that. She's plenty busy with her new job. So, but she's the only one who would know anything about this and be able to help me here. No one at my work does any of this, right? They're all pure electrical engineering. I'm firmware engineering. So I'm an firmware engineer in the hardware engineering department. Everyone in my department is like pure electrical. So I can't really be like, "Hey, do you know about what's going on here?" Yeah, I can't ask Susie, and so oof. Um, can I do like a console log up here before fetch? Like, can I log anything? Come on, just let me log something. Console.log. Up here. I don't know. Okay. Can I log anything? Please, just come on. Do something. I'm not frozen. I'm trying to think of any troubleshooting or debugging techniques that I can think of. I don't know on this one. Honestly, I I might need so yeah, I'm thinking I might need to come back to it and try to understand, but understand what? Like, I'm obviously missing some concept, but I don't even know what concept to look into to try to reinforce my skills so that I can solve this problem. Like I'm not sure. Probably in the next video I will be continuing to try to troubleshoot this. Try to maybe understand. I was trying to get a golden copy first and then understand everything fully. And then, but now maybe I need to go and under. But again, I don't know what I need to understand yet. Because if I'm missing something, how can I understand something I don't know to understand? That's why I need the golden copy. I need the golden thing. Maybe what we can do is a more simple post request. Maybe maybe this was too complicated and I need to go and create a more simple. I need to isolate my variables, right? Like what I'm thinking is, okay, well maybe I do obviously I'm able to send through here to this endpoint. So I know that I'm able to reach my server. And I know that I'm able to get data back. I'm able to get a response back. But now I need to try to break things up. Maybe try to do any post request from the browser. Like I'm just right now I'm just talking because I have no idea where to go. I'm just trying to throw ideas out. Like maybe I could try this, maybe I could try this, maybe I could try this, maybe, right? Which, by the way, actually, this is very similar to my work because I am the only firmware engineer. Everyone else is purely electrical. Because I'm the only firmware engineer, whenever I run into a problem, congratulations, there's no one to ask, right? Like, guess who gets to figure it out? And guess who gets to figure it out if I can't figure it out? Me. Again. So, I mean, this is a position that I'm kind of used to. Um, at work, I constantly come into problems, and if I can't solve it, I have to just keep on going, keep on troubleshooting, and just try anything. But that takes a very long time, right? Like if I'm stuck on something, it can take a while for me to get unstuck because I can't just go and ask someone. I can't go and be like, "Hey, have you had this error before? Hey, can you help? Can I have a second pair of eyes? Look at this. Hey, can you?" Right? Like it's kind of like staring into the abyss where you're looking in and you're looking at this problem and it's just like there's no one coming to save me. There's no one coming to help me. That's it. It's just me. Okay. That kind of feeling. So, I mean, that's where I'm planning on going. Um, I might do something more simple in the next video to see if I can get something simple to work. And then based off of the simple thing, I advance in complexity. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. I have no idea what this problem is. But we will continue the fight. We will continue the journey. We're not going to be giving up. And I like how I hesitated right there. Did you? I don't know if you guys got that, but anyway. Anyways, yeah. So join me on the next video where we are going to continue the fight, continue learning, and continuing to gain those skills to become a back-end software engineer. If you like this video, subscribe, and my name is Timothy Lee Grant. I will see you in the next video. Bye.